Welcome to the double feature of NWA Powerrr and USA. I believe it's episode 8 of Powerrr and episode 7 of USA, I think. I could be wrong about the numbers, but this is what you're getting. Now, before I get started, I wanted to say thank you to anyone who saw my No Surrender review. I didn't expect no one to really watch much of it because a lot of people was going to expect what was going to be said about Elimination Chamber at Jeddah. Easily, I knew there was going to be people going to be asking how bad was it at Jeddah, who was going to get screwed at Jeddah, how great it was going to be at Jeddah. I didn't expect, and I think at this point it was at 500 people who seen my video. I knew I wasn't going to get that many views from Jeddah when it came to the Elimination Chamber review. But I didn't expect I'd get 500 views for No Surrender, honestly. I was shocked. Just within 2 hours when I upload the damn thing, I get 102 or 9 views. I'm just thankful that even anybody looks. I don't even know if there's going to be more than 10 people who see this. But if they do, thank you. Honestly, I don't expect it. Now, we got ourselves a double header. And I'm going to be honest here. I don't know how to feel about some of the matches. Because it looked like some of these people were kind of phoning it in to me personally. So let's start with Powerrr. First match we got was the British Invasion versus Roland and Fable Jake. Now, I gotta say this when it comes to the British Invasion. I'm really surprised that Nick Aldis has now been willing to go from being here for years to here. Not all wrestlers understand the concept of going from down to up and down to up. They rather stay here, go like this, and always say they're the best when they really need to do this. Because that's how you keep people interested. You got to reimagine yourself, re-envision yourself, do something with yourself. Because if you're always here, when finally the time comes here, you're not going to know what to do with your damn self. So seeing him there with Doug Williams, who I gotta say, is such an underappreciated pro wrestler. Yes, he's not good on the mic. Let's be honest. He's not good. Douglas Williams is not good on the mic. He doesn't have much of a charisma, honestly. But as a catch-cam wrestler, the only thing he needs as a tag team specialist is a charismatic partner that can compensate for him, like what happened when it came to Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and when it came, well, Jim the Anvil Neidhart was amped to 10. The Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, was amped to 10, and you got Bret Hart, who was barely even amped to 3. He just didn't have much of a personality. But you got two other people who were just so charismatic. It didn't take anything away from him because he could focus on the in-ring work while they focus on everything else about character and about charisma and about talking. Whenever he did talk, they always backed him up and made it feel important. So when you see a Nick Aldis with a Doug Williams, you know Nick can talk his ass off and he will compensate for anything Doug Will, or Douglas Williams, as I call him, does. I didn't expect them to lose here, but here's the problem for me personally. Not that they phoned it in. They just, this wasn't the match that did that. The problem was this. You got the Crockett Cup coming up in a couple of months from now. Or I think a couple of months. I can't remember. Somewhere March near April. And they're going to talk about 20 teams. 20 teams going for the Crockett Cup. Here's the problem. When have we seen enough teams to do any work in NWA? Yes, we do have teams. But I'm not talking about the teams that you think. Because when you see the next match I'm going to talk about, you see no teams on there. Because you got British Invasion, you got The End, you got the Ill-Begotten, you got the whenever they come back, El Rebellion, and everyone else. Strictly Business is a team. Yes, they got plenty of teams for the men. But when you see the Hex versus Smiley Dragon, you know There are no teams there. You know there's nothing there. When was the last time we've seen a match between the Hex and anyone else? If it hadn't turned into a singles match, very few. Look, Allison Kay had to have a match by herself against Kylie Ray. She lost that. Then you get the Marty Bell, who I haven't seen in a while, really do anything in the ring, go up against a Tootie Lynn. I always tend to forget about Tootie. She's cute. She has great personality. As a singles, I got to be careful here. She has something. She has a lot of personality. Her stick as a martial artist is not something undone. Going into the ring with some, nunchakus, fine. But I don't want to say she's ready now, because as charismatic as she is, she's not ready. She has been barely built at all in NWA or anywhere else. So she needs time. But I do see her eventually being a champion somewhere. If it's not in NWA, it will be somewhere else. It just depends when she's ready. Now, here's where it felt like it was phoned in. When it came to Marty, look, I know Marty is not one of the best wrestlers. She's not. She's an average pro wrestler that's better in a tag team where she has the strength of tagging in and out. You understand? There's nothing is wrong with that. Do not get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I know there's going to be people who say Marty sucks. Look, there's been a lot of wrestlers as a singles competitor that sucked ass in wrestling until they became in a tag team where a lot of their strengths played up. Now, it does not mean they're not great when they become a tag team wrestler. Sometimes they got to improve. And when you see Marty, she phoned it in. She didn't feel like she really wanted to even do this match. She didn't. She didn't really feel like she wanted to really do this match, at least part of it. In the end, 2D1. No problem. But then it shows you the weakness of the tag division because they only got 2 teams. Now, of course, you can say, what about Pella Blaze and Genocide, which I'll get to in a minute, which was the best match of the night. Personally, for me, it was the best match, even though it kind of felt sluggish. It just shows you how weak the division is. Look, as I said for Impact Wrestling, you need to supplement your tag division or your main title division with people from the outside. You show them more often. If you just can't hire enough people, let's say you only got about 9 or 8 women, you need to bring out independents to supplement. Like when it comes to Camille, where are the women for her to go up against? Now, mind you, she doesn't have to wrestle every day, but still, you need to give her more bodies to go through because she's gone through everyone other than Natalia Markovich, which she actually had a match against Genocide. Now, admittedly, at first, Natalia seemed a little bit playful in this match. Look, I love me Natalia, and I won't lie. I want to tell you a tiny bit of a story. Tiny bit. When I was very young, this is the truth. I know you're not going to believe this because you'll think guys are not like that. I was one. When you're sheltered and you don't have much exposure to people, you are very naive. And when I met my now ex-wife at the time, before I met her as my girlfriend, when I first saw her, if you looked at her compared to Natalia Markovich, she had a lot of the same shape as her. For me personally, I thought she was a butch because she was walking out with a leather jacket, some shades. She's an albino, my ex-wife. She walked out when I first saw her, hair short, blonded out, wearing some shades, wearing a thick-ass leather jacket, and later I found out she was wearing double jeans and some big-ass boots. And I thought the very first thought, butch. But she was like that. And she reminds me because when you look at Natalia Markovich, she looks like my ex when she was very young. Like this. And the difference compared to my ex, compared to Paula. Not Paula. I'm thinking about Paula Blaze. I think I really like her. Is Natalia Makovich. Is that she is extremely physical. I should say maybe they still are kind of the same because my ex was kind of physical. But pretty much, she's normally physical. But here in this match, and this is the reason why I'm even bringing it up, because yeah, my ex-wife was kind of very she liked to fight with me. I don't know why. But anyway, when it comes down to it, she's normally physical. But in this respect, she was not. She was highly playful. Now, that threw me off. That's not a Natalia Makovich's MO. When you looked at her in Hog, when you saw my review of Hog, taking away from the lighting, hang on, this lighting is here. It's a little overexposed a little bit, like it was over in Hog's pay-per-view. But pretty much, you saw that she was physical. Yeah, she was a little slow a little bit, and she kind of telegraphed what she was doing a little bit. But it wasn't as bad as it was here. At first, into the middle of that match, she was telegraphing all her moves and playing around in the ring. And I'm going, what the fuck's going on? By the middle to the end, when they got both counted out, a double count out, due to the fact they did not want to back down from each other. And by the end of it, not only did Genocide get a DDT on the outside of the ring, you basically got Natalia Makovich, that sexy, well, solid woman, getting her back power bombed onto the ring skirt, and they're both laid out and neither one of them won. That's it. Nobody won. It was dead even, which honestly, I find it it's refreshing to see they don't want to job out a Genocide yet. And they didn't want to job out a Natalia. Now, many people will disagree that they should have been a winner, but if this is going to lead to the pay-per-view, and maybe a Genocide will be included, I'd rather not, because I'd rather see Camille deal with a Natalia Markovich by herself. But if they don't think she's ready, even though she has won now the Hog World's Women's Championship, maybe they don't think she's ready yet. Maybe they don't think she's developed enough yet, even though she's done the model bit. She had a little bit of a moment with a My Valentine when Mai was told to go in, and this is the part that gets me. Mai supposedly is a influencer. That not only is she a model, because Natalia's a model, she says she's a model, she's an influencer, and she's been told that she needs to do this job properly and that she's better. And I'm going like, really? Does this mean we're going to have a My Valentine and Natalia Makovich match? Oh my gosh. Guys, I do not want to see Natalia Makovich go against Mai. I'm not saying Mai will be a bad wrestler. I've never seen her wrestle, ever. Now, she could be a good wrestler. Maybe she couldn't be cleared to wrestle, or maybe she didn't want to wrestle, but if she's a good wrestler, fine. But if she's not, look, she's a physically beautiful woman, just as beautiful as Natalia Makovich. But she better be good in the ring, because she's never been 100% great on the mic when it comes to interviewing. She did a good part when she was working with Sal Renaro, but honestly, I'm just saying. Now, we got Molina versus a Christy James, who is the first Brazilian wrestler to ever enter the NWA ring for women. Now, I'm hoping this will be a new wrestler for them, because they need more women on the damn roster. They need new bodies, but bro, they need new bodies in that damn division. I'm hoping that she'll be working with them and maybe eventually be signed, because they need women. But here's the thing. When I saw Christy, when you looked at part of that match, she was so incredibly dainty. She is bigger than Molina. And she was almost, not because at the very beginning when she was dancing, she was so, I don't know what to call it. See it like this. It's like putting a figure skater in the ring with a hockey player. Because I'm not even saying that Molina is incredibly hard-hitting. She has her moments to be great and good and be crap. And Molina was having to wait on and off most of the time for her to finally reach her destination, which was her. She literally was running so dainty and barely hitting that hard. Yes, only time when she hit hard when she did her right knee strike. But damn, what was that? Dude, Molina won the match. She won it, and I gotta say this. What the hell was that ending? She looked like she was gonna do a dragon sleeper on Christy. And then she changes her mind, and she already wrapped up her legs. The only thing she had to do was lean back, unless her back was jacked, which I don't think it was. She was fine. But then she just leaves it for no apparent reason, and then just simply rolls her up. What was that by Molina? I don't understand. Ever since she went to Royal Rumble, she looks bad. I think Molina's ego got hurt when she was told, well, Molina, you can come in. We're not going to let you say you're from the NWA. We're not going to say none of that. But you know what? We'll let you come in, but you're going to have to be gone within about a minute or so. Done. I don't think she was happy about that. I'm just saying. Now, finally, we get the last match for Team War, which is El Rudo, Strictly Business. The end with Rodney Mack. Now, this is where it gets interesting when it comes to Rodney Mack. I've never seen Rodney wrestle, ever. Now, mind you, he might have been a great wrestler before, but as I've told people for years on this channel, there was a time between 1991 to about 2001, almost and going into 2002, I wasn't watching the product of professional wrestling constantly. It was maybe between 2 to 3 weeks at a time that I was watching it, and maybe, if I was lucky, maybe getting 10 minutes. And that was flipping through maybe WWE, ECW, barely ECW, and WCW when I jumped between them. That was it. Honestly, if he was in those promotions, I barely saw him. Honestly, and I'm not taking anything from him. So seeing him in his mid to late 50s, because he doesn't look too young. He's got to be my age, because Jazz is in her nearly 50, and he looks like he might be nearly 50 himself. Even if he's like 48 or 47 or 49, he's nearly 50. I'm going to be 51 this year. So you could tell he's an older man. Doesn't mean he ain't cut. He still looks like he got muscle. He still looks like he is in great shape for his age, being in late 40s, maybe early 50s. But you wonder, why is he in ring? Why is he there? Where's the storyline? I'm wondering, what's the point? Where's the storyline today? Please tell me what's going on. Because unless I'm missing something, isn't he wanting to get back at somebody for what was said to about his wife? I'm just saying. So I'm not going to say who was in the order that got kicked out, but I'm going to say this. Seeing that the Strictly Business won, I was not surprised. I was not surprised. But I will say the best person who performed there was Odinson. Now, mind you, he didn't do a lot of work, because a lot of people would say, well, what about Powerrr? Didn't he do well? Well, what about El Rudo? He was in there. He looked good. How about Tom Latimer? Yes, all of them did a good job, but because of the performance last week with Odinson and this week, I got to say who looked the best overall is Odinson. From when they started this competition to the end, he showed how good he was. Now, I'm not saying he's greatest, and not saying he's the best wrestler there, but at least they showed something that if he becomes a singles competitor, he could be pushed somewhere. He could go to the TV title or the national title if he's given a gimmick. Well, he already got a gimmick, but the ability to talk while doing his gimmick is going to be the question. Will his charisma get through? I'm just saying. So, when it comes down to it, and I know I could talk about Sion when he was with Austin Idol. I'm still leaving that. I want to see how that plays out, so I'm not talking about it. But this was a good Powerrr. Mind you, a couple of wrestlers looked like they phoned it in. They really weren't putting their greatest effort into it. But maybe they were off, or maybe they weren't interested. I don't know. Now, let's listen. Well, let me say something about USA and you listen. I'm trying to not to box so damn bad. I box that so damn bad. I try to recover. I can't recover. I suck. This is like the Gump Report. You never know what you're going to get. Here is USA. Now, USA was a good show. Very interesting. Fatal 4-Way. You got... I kind of wish Sorrow and Naro had won. But you got Sorrow, you got Spade, you got Stanley, and you got YWC Anderson. Yeah, George Self is there, but I don't know why he should be in that match. I don't feel like he should have been in there. It should have been a younger competitor. Honestly. I felt like it could have been a younger competitor that could have had that spot. Hell, it could have... Well, you can't really put Ricky Morton's son in there because he's still in the junior heavyweight title picture. But you could have used one of the other people who have been there. An extra person, at least that was considered to be put in there, but never was put into the junior heavyweight championship tournament. I'm just saying. Now, it was Joe Spade who won. But I really feel like Saronaro should have won. And the kicker that gets me, they don't say anything about this being number one contenders match. And I literally wrote down on my paper, I wrote in pencil, they should put a stip in this. And within 5 minutes of writing it, they say, hey, we just got a report in the back that now this will be a number. This kind of pisses me off. That's why I'm botching. Why didn't you just put this in the very beginning? Why leave it as a suspense thing? We needed a stipulation for this Fatal 4-Way. Now, the person who wins will be a number one contender for the member of the tournament trying to get the junior. It's angering me that the junior heavyweight championship tournament is being treated this way, and for the number one contender. They should have just said in the beginning and then spotlighted it last week. That's what's pissing me off. That's the reason I got pissed. Why not set this calm down. Why not just do it last week and setting it up for this week? I'm just saying. Now, Fable Jake, versus Chris Adonis. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Chris Adonis actually did 2 matches, not 1. Now, the thing that gets me, he did not want to wrestle Marshe Rockett. Once you have the interview between Tim Storm and then Raven comes out again behind him, and Tim Storm is saying clearly, hey, he better do what needs to be done. I will strip him. And then you see Raven says, no. It would be better if you just set up something to give Marshe Rockett an opportunity. I already spoke to him. He's willing to do the match as long as there's an opportunity. And Tim's saying clearly, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to me? Look, if you wanted this job, you should have took it. If you still want this job, go to management. Tell me. Don't tell me anything. Go to management. Get the damn job. And he says, why are you crying? Why are you being a crybaby? What's your problem? And then Medusa comes out, who was on Powerrr. I'm not going to say much about that because she does an all right job. But now Medusa comes out and she tells Kyle Davis, thank you so much, thank you. And he's saying, why? Thank you. Says, thank you. That's what she says. And she says clearly, I just been told by management that I am now the duo co-directing manager of USA. And Tim's going, what? And you can see Raven all happy. So that means he already did what he said he wanted to do, but he wanted to make sure that it didn't look like it. So Raven set up Tim by letting Medusa get a co-position. That's what I think has happened here. So now, sooner or later, with Medusa there, he's going to show that Tim sucks, and then he's going to get the position next to Medusa, and maybe eventually get Medusa out where he'll be sole control of NWA's USA brand, if you're going to say it as a brand. It's clever. Unless I'm wrong. I could be 100% wrong, but I do believe Raven set this up saying, hey, Billy, Woobala, make Medusa the director of USA. I'm telling you, she needs to be there because Tim can't do it. Then he's going to wait a while and say, hey, Boobala, Billy, Tim needs to be replaced. Let me replace him, and I'll work with Medusa. And then eventually, Tim, you could see he had an issue. It didn't work. Medusa's not working out either. Give it to me. Gimme. That's what I think will be the goal of this. I could be wrong. You guys tell me below. Now, the first match, Fable Jake versus a Chris Adonis. Now, I just remember when I was watching Chris wrestle Fable Jake. Now, it wasn't a great match, but it was okay. I forgot, when did he actually tear I believe his right pec? Because you can see that his pec has been torn. You go on YouTube, you'll see that he has full pecs. And it's all normal until here. So I think, 2007 or 9? He tore his pec when he was addicted to drugs. I've forgotten that he was addicted to drugs. I totally forgot. So that might have happened during that time. But seeing that, I'm going like, it's surprising that he's still working the way he is. Got so screwed up so heavily. So he may not be one of the best wrestlers around, but he is a long-standing wrestler that you can get some good work out of him. Not the best, but good work. So he wins the match. He puts him in the master lock, and he's out. But then you see Tim Storm bringing out Marche Rocket, and you can hear Idol Sports Media Incorporated. Isn't it incorporated? International Incorporated. I'm forgetting that. He is happy beyond stink. But in the end, Marche does not win. He gets nut shot by the leg of a Chris Adonis. He gets put into the master lock and he loses. Now, mind you, I think, why? I don't understand what was the point of spotlighting Marche Rocket and then give him this opportunity, but then not let him have it for the pay-per-view. Because honestly, I think he should have had it for the pay-per-view. It's not the point that it's fair unless you're going to have a Nick Aldis do it. But Nick is in British Invasion. He's not going for the national championship. So, honestly, unless it's going to go to Pope, which makes no sense either, because Pope wants Matt Cardona. He wants Mike Knox. So, who are we talking about going after the national championship? Is it going to be Scion? I don't know. Marche Rocket made the best sense here. Maybe I'm missing something. You guys can tell me below what you think. Just don't tell me spoilers. I don't like spoilers. I like to know at least what you think, but not what's going on. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.